Hey everyone, and welcome to the next edition of the Snapchat. I'm joined today by none other than Cozy Snap. Cozy, you've done something today that honestly you do so frequently, it blows my mind. You do this about 10 times more often than I do, sir. And I need you to give me some insight into how often, sir, you get a haircut. Because quite frankly, you look so well groomed today.
I'm going on a family vacation next week and thought might as well get trimmed up. I get one. How often do you get haircuts? I get one like every 3 weeks. Dude, my hair grows on like ridiculously fast though.
So like I'll wander into like the like there's like a I don't know, it's called like Supercuts or something, like
Supercuts,
one of those
yeah.
like discount place, like not sponsored by the way, but I like wander in there and they're like, "Oh, you haven't been here for 7 months." And they have like a little thing on it that tells them exactly what I do. I sit down like, "So what do you want?" I'm like, "Doesn't matter."
Yeah, like special. The
You
same,
can't
just,
disappoint
yeah.
me. You just shave my head. It doesn't matter.
Give me that I'm outnumbered by kids and barely sleeping look. Whatever that is, I'm signed up for it. But hey, you come out handsome every time, buddy.
Yeah, buddy, you define handsome, sir. That's why I'm trying to get some haircut tips. Cozy, what kind of haircut should I get? You tell me. Should I actually just show them a picture of you?
I have
Be like,
no
"I wanna look like this."
idea of terminology. I've been seeing the same lady. Her name's Chelsea. Shout out Chelsea. She's killer. I sit down and I typically do work. I typically like YouTube stuff. She knows my whole channel. She's seen your face plenty of times, my friend. I do like I've edited before while getting a haircut. I like it. Do you
Really?
like getting a haircut? I think it's a cathartic experience. I like it.
I would like it, but the lady that kind of works near the one I go to often, she like when she's cutting my hair, I
She
feel
scares
like
you?
I'm smoking with her. Like
Oh,
she smell like she has like this like I just smoked 4 packs. Like kind of like experience aroma. Is aroma the polite way of yeah, anyways.
yeah.
So there's
I get
that
Yeah,
element of it. I often go with a coupon, so there's that side of it too. So I'm not like necessarily proud of that. It's one of those ones where like if like every once in a while in your mail you'll get like a oh for $14.99 you can get a haircut. I'm like, oh damn, I guess I'm getting a haircut now, boys. Let's go. Okay?
50% of the effort for 50% of the price. They're like, you know what? We'll give when she's fresh off the smoke break anyway, right? Is it cigarettes?
Oh yeah, she's rejuvenated. She's very lively.
She's Olga's at her peak self again. My problem is I have a very Chelsea's very young, and so I get hit with a lot of just I'm out of the touch, man. Like Madison Beer, Sabrina Carpenter. I'm just trying to keep up with the names, man. Sabrina Carpenter though. There's a song Espresso. It's my guilty pleasure. For those that I didn't know. Yeah, listen, it's good. Hey, good music. You listen to Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter. She teaches me.
What I need to before we move on, I need to know, Cozy, yes or no? Should I get frosted tips?
Definitely. No question. Just show her a picture of like in sync and be like, I want this for $15. Do the best you can.
This is cool, right? I want this.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to
You know what else is cool?
Yeah. What?
Phastos. I tried desperately to transition us. You were still talking about your haircut. Would you like to continue?
Cool? No. I would love to know what's cool about.
Does Phastos have hair?
What's cool about Phastos? I need to know. I mean, outside of his he has a very intimidating look. He's the guy that's just super swole up top, and then he never works out the legs. Like he's a big teddy bear at the end of the day. You think he's going to be aggressive, but he's a pacifist. He actually is a pacifist, so this does work out pretty well lore-wise. Phastos, dude, the car that changed June.
Yeah, legit changed June.
Changed my life.
Yeah, like this card, this is okay, Cozy. Let's get right into it. 5 stars for you, I guess.
I was thinking that we would implement a new star. I was thinking that we bump it up to 6 for Phastos.
Yeah.
5
Let's just send it to
feels
14.
like an insult. You want to just bump it up 10, 9, and just cut it there. Like that's just Phastos as well. And then I was thinking we go inverse for like Miss Marvel. So like Miss Marvel, we have a negative 4-star rating for her, and then we go up to 14 for him.
Yeah, this makes sense. We just know what we should do. Our rating scale should just be like audio DB scale. So every 6 is a doubling in card power.
Whenever
or is it 12?
A lot of people's heads. They don't know audible DB scales. But Phastos, what do you think? Tell me.
I think I'm disappointed.
I need a recap. I don't remember what was it. What did
no,
we give him?
You remember damn well.
I need a recap. I have dementia. I need to know. I don't remember.
All right. I'm actually sad because I could have almost gotten you. I said Phastos potentially 4-star. You started at 3.54, and then we started talking, and then suddenly you changed your damn mind. You went to 2, and then you changed your mind again. You went to 2.5, and I had to update my notes. And so, Cozy, I got to say once again, I don't know if this ain't no contest. It ain't no contest.
It's not a contest. It's luck.
You were right again.
It's pure luck, guys. First of all, for those that don't know, if Alex wasn't my best buddy, I wouldn't be giving him crap. Yes. No, hey, listen. I felt good. I've been nervous too, because I've been putting my reputation on a platter. Like, here we go. I'm gonna diss this card, and I'm gonna be so wrong. And I was actually for this one fully expecting, because I believe it was like there's not a lot of us that were down on him. So I was like, oh, dude, Alex is gonna the whole community. He's gonna send them all to the YouTube channel, and the comments I'm gonna get is gonna be brutal. But pleasantly, actually, no, it wasn't pleasantly. I was kind of sad on it, because this mother effer took me 4 caches to get to. So I was actually even more mad about how much it took to get him. What happened with Phastos?
You know what, man? I'm not sure. For the record, currently, as of recording on Sunday, the day before this comes out, 49% win rate. 49, man. It's 49%. Even Makari was better than that, man. 49%. 6% meta share. And I gotta tell you, man, I think this card, I'm sad. I don't think it's as bad as the sentiment around the card is. But I don't think it's as good as I thought it was, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It confirmed most of the worries that I had for it going into it. Is the consistency thing. Playing it after 3 was a nightmare. Playing it on 3, you didn't even get control what that changed. And so you just have like too much RNG in there for it to really even make sense. And then drawing him, like even when I did draw him, I just typically wanted to do another 3. He worked in Surfer, but because of course he did. Surfer's a good deck. All my worries about the card, it came true, and I hate to see it, because I love the ability. It's a cool ability, but I hate it for a 3-cost card.
What I'll say is that I played him a lot in Surfer. I played him in a whole bunch of different decks, right? I played him in Zoo, I played him in Thanos, I played him in Surfer, right? And if you play him on 3, he felt good. I'll be straight up on it. If you play him on 3, but he is beyond dead on 5, 6, and later. Like, he's so bad other than on 3 specifically. And so I feel like that is something that's very notable. And we kind of knew going into that, right? We're like, you get him on 3, he's great. If you get him on 4, it's not as good. 5, he's unplayable. And we kind of understood that. But I think that I was expecting the, -1 cost versus 2 power flip-floppy stuff to be less annoying than it actually was. Well, generally positive. We talk about it all the time. The consistency of effects in Marvel Snap tends to be very good. And we don't have that here. But what I will tell you, which was a silent winner for me, call it cope if you want. I loved playing Phastos on 3, Absorbing Man on 4.
Yeah,
because then whatever I was getting afterwards was absolutely just fire.
Agree, but what I'll say to that, dude, is that, because I did a Gambit deck, it was a lot of fun. I had a Absorbing Man who could pop off with Surfer and Gambit and Phastos. And for the content, I usually went with Phastos. The thing I don't like is I think there should have been a safety gate at 0 cost. So like once a card's 0 cost, it can't take another randomized hit of -1 cost.
Yeah.
That way, because there's times where I would get like, bro, I would play Wong on Onslaught Citadel and then play Phastos. And I'm like, boom, boom, boom. Got the rings, got the cool sound effect, right? And then I would get a magic that was like a 0 + 4. And I'm like, wait, I did this 8 times. So like there was, whatever, that's a bad example. But I would get these effects that didn't equal what I thought I was going to get out of it, because I think it kept trying to hit that -1 cost on a card that was already discounted, fully or whatever. Not to say that having a free card's bad or anything. I will say Magic was a great call last week when you said that the synergy there. I think his ultimate problem for me is that he's really plug and playable. No question. You can't deny that. He's a flexible card, but he's the master of none. He doesn't really flex into anything. He's too... It's how I felt about Hercules in a sense of like great ability, not at the right cost slot, and now we're seeing him go down.
Now, so in Zoo, I felt like he was good because there's often cards you want to sneak in, like, oh wait, that card I can now play alongside a Blue Marvel on turn 6. That's pretty cool. Dazzler got discounted. That's pretty awesome, right? Or even Dazzler +2 is pretty damn good. Like the power and the cost reduction was always nice to have, but specifically on turn 3, right? Later on, I felt it much, much worse. I was getting massive gladiators, right? And I like what you bring up about the idea that, like, for instance, I was playing it in Surfer and I was playing Killmonger and Nova. Nova going down to 0 cost was awesome, right? But it being a +2 was kind of a waste, which kind of felt bad, right? It's like, I don't really care about that. I'd rather... But at the same time, I like what you're saying with the idea of like, okay, let's say something's already 0. Make it consistently become 2 power at that point. That's a cool way of buffing the card without just giving it numbers.
And then buffing Wasp and Yellow Jacket in the same vein. You put both those in there, you just know you're getting these cheap cards that are just getting power. It's really cool. It's a different synergy that we haven't seen before. Maybe then they work into a Jane Foster deck that I saw a couple people try to experiment with. Like, that is a cool potential for Phastos without bringing his cost down and ruining what they envisioned for him. He just the more I play with him, he reminded me more of like a guy that buys one scratch-off ticket and wins, and he's like, why isn't everybody doing this? This is just so good. This is so easy. I win money. But it's the same thing. Like, the more games I played, I was like, God, I don't like the card. He never did anything game-changing to me, like, massively.
Yeah, like I cut like a like a Shauna out of a zoo deck, and I put Phastos instead, and honestly, it was good. It was fine, right? It was like, I'm like, this is pretty good. Like, we're buffing cards, and those low power cards, that +2 power is significant on a Squirrel Girl. It's significant on a lot of those zoo style cards, so that's pretty cool. I thought it was good in Thanos. I can see if Thanos continues to get nudged in the direction they're going, I think they're going to take these slow, calculated steps towards making Thanos this new kind of shell that they're leaning towards Thanos being the star. Thanos, did I just say Thanos? Thanos being the star of the show. And I think that Phastos would be a really good addition to that deck eventually. Like, I see the potential.
But drawing him in Thanos was so much tougher. Like, I think what would be cool, tell me if I'm crazy here, -1 cost, -1 or +1 power. You minus the power by 1, and it's all the cards in your hand. So it's this mix of like a Coccia. That way you kind of know when you're trying to activate the ability. It has a bit more pop-off potential. You can actively see what's happening with it. I felt like maybe that would have landed better.
What if you got to choose the effect? This is a totally different card.
It'd be too good.
No?
-1 cost.
Too good,
you just do -1. It's just a better Sarah at that point.
Is it though?
Well, Sarah's on 5 to play everything -1, and then you play that on
Sarah
3.
affects your hand.
It affects your hand. That's fair. But I just don't see people doing power as much. But yeah, I guess if you could shoot, like if it's an activate card instead and you activated it, but then the problem, yes, but here's the problem about activate. This was my worry we didn't talk about on my side, is if you can activate it, it's not going to be at any point in the game. So you would have to play him on 3, then press activate on 4, which would affect then just the 2 cards. So that would be wonky. They would have to do that with 2, you know what I mean? They would have to make that a 2 card. Like, activate doesn't activate right away. That's where on reveal is king. So it's kind of weird. It's weird in that effect.
Okay, that's fair. I like where your head's at there, but like, I guess that would be the way to like choose between one of the two. And I mean, I guess at the end of the day, right? Like, obviously you're lower on it. I'm gonna shift towards a 3-star rating. I still think I don't think it's as bad, man. I don't think it's a 2-star card. I still think it's in the 3 range. It's a soft 3. Like, I'm not happy about it being a 3, but I'll accept 3. Are you still in the 2 range?
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely not a 3 range.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, with how much I 1.5 to 1.5 right now.
1.5? Cozy, come on. What? That is savage. There's no way it's 1.5. Cozy,
the only deck I would play him in is Surfer, and even then, it's just like you're talking about an archetype with so much different flex. Like, this is like up there. Put it this way: for the year, there's only a couple cards I put ahead of this. Or below this, I guess, that I would buy first.
Okay, that's fair. So, like, what would you want from it for it to make your decks? Like, what do you want from it?
I mean, kind of what I led to before. I mean, maybe make him a 2, maybe, and then like adjust his output. Maybe it's not as much power. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. This isn't it. Whatever this is.
So he feels pretty far off to you, okay? Which is crazy because, like, he doesn't feel that far off to me. It feels like a card that might age well. Even an additional power, I don't think the effect is horrible. Like, I don't think the effect is bad. I think the replicating effect, like you talked about before, sucks.
You just can't deck build behind it. Like, I don't know if I hate him in a draft mode maybe or something like that, but like, you just can't build behind it. So it's just awkward, right? Like, you can't plan with it in battle and or out of battle. Like Erisham, you can deck build into it, and you can also plan around it within the battle, right? Within the match. Phastos doesn't have both of those mechanics. So at the end of the day, it's like it's a massive hit towards the card because the fun factor won't even be there at that point, right? It's the randomness. I can't tell you how many times I wanted my Mystique to get -1 or whatever, and it was always either the opposite or I was like, if I happen to get him out on 3, it's just, I prefer Makari. I would.
Would you prefer, like, is Phastos worse or better than Nakia? Oh my God, the fact that you'd have to think this through is crazy to me.
So no, he's better in the reach of his ability per se. I think Nakia, right? Yeah. I think Nakia, whatever. Nakia. I think in Surfer, I would prefer.
Okay, that's fair. Like, so what you're saying is Phastos can go in more decks, but Nakia has a very specific, and she actually performs well. Sebastian Shaw Surfer.
Yeah, and I actually hate him in Airsham too. I was thinking about that. It's like, no way, dude. The odds of getting this guy before turn 3. Imagine, like, we just talked about it. You only have, like, such a slim chance of getting one specific card, and then this is one of the 5 or 4 that you get on turn 6. Like, what a whiff.
When I was doing my napkin math, I kind of realized, like, nah, Phastos ain't it, man. Like, what, like a 1 in 5 game? Like, 1 in 5 games you draw him on turn 2 to be able to play him. Even then, like it's the engine you need. You need engines, right? Like, it doesn't help Coulson, it doesn't help Fury, it doesn't help all those cards, it doesn't help Loki.
I would not have guessed we were going to talk about Phastos for like 18 minutes, but like, he is a fascinating card. And I think at the end of the day, I'm actually happy with this month that there's a lot of kind of meh cards. Not like they're bad, but they just are meh. And that's important because we have like 3 months in a row of just really strong cards coming out in the game. And just like impactful. And I mean, we needed a month like this per se, where it just wasn't Red Hulks, or whatever. Hope Summers, coming out.
Yeah, absolutely. And so Phastos definitely leaning towards a skip for us. So if you are listening, as we always recommend, save your keys till the end of the week. This looks like a definite skip for now. So Phastos, Cozy coming in almost in the 1s range. I'm a little more tentatively optimistic. That takes us to Marvel Snap's must-have cards for July 2024. This is a conversation that stems from the idea that we get a ton of questions about the kind of cards people should be spending tokens on, spotlight keys on, adding to their collections, and so we are going to be talking about it here. Now, we're going to do this very differently. I'm actually super excited. I didn't tell Cozy this yet, and I'm going to be hitting you with a curveball here, Cozy, because instead of doing like a top 10 like we usually do, we're going to do this like fantasy football style, where essentially what I'm going to do is we're going to talk about a card, and then I'm going to hit you with some like quick shots. You can take this card over this card. Who you picking?
Okay.
How would you order them? I'm putting Cozy on the spot, damn it.
Yeah, I definitely didn't know. I love it. I dig it. It's right up my alley. And I feel like we're going to have we definitely pick differently. Like, that's why I can't wait for draft mode. I feel like me and you would draft very different decks. And that's the best part about it. All right, let's do it.
All right, so first of all, one of the absolute must-have cards of Marvel Snap, in my opinion, is Loki. We talked about it with regards to Airsham. I think we actually both agree this is going to be very key to the Airsham archetype. But Loki, I would say, at 5% of the meta, is actually criminally underplayed right now, considering how effective it is. So the other thing about Loki is we always talk about, like, hey, we got to go on that quota of, like, oh, best beginner card possible type thing, right? Loki, for the most part, as long as you have Coulson, you already have Agent 13, these card generators, and maybe, of course, Snowguard as Pool 3. Once you start to get those Pool 3 cards, you kind of have the key shell you have. If you don't have Mockingbird, it's okay. You can go like a Devil Dinosaur route with it as well as the backup play. Loki is an absolute must-have card. It's coming in a Spotlight Cache as well. You got to have it. And Loki, what are your thoughts, Cozy?
Well, listen, I wanted to say this real quick. How cool would it be if they did like multiverse something? Just throw that in the name. And like in the month for the month, you get to see the season pass cards that are purchasable, right? With like season pass, like you definitely don't have to buy these cards, but they're there. So like September hits, right? And all of a sudden Time Machine happens, Black Panther, Loki, and then the season pass card that is most recent for September. You can get those cards. I think that's a really interesting way to be able to like bring back a way if someone wants to get them and like they really want them. And it's not unfair because people got them before for just buying them. So I was like, hey, that would be kind of cool. And I think of that because Loki and Airsham are both awesome cards to let you play with cards you don't own. So the question is just like my thoughts on Loki though.
Like, yeah, like, do you think people should be adding Loki to the class? Is Loki worth 6,000 tokens?
Yeah,
Cozy?
dude, for sure. I think most people like Loki, and I think that it does open up your collection, the way you play the game, the way you understand decks, and I think he kind of gets, like, unneeded hate. Yeah, I like Loki.
All right, and at 30% of the meta, Jeff the Baby Landshark is an absolute masterpiece in card design. Never feels overpowering, but always feels relevant. Cozy, what are your thoughts on Jeff the Baby Landshark? Worth 6K?
I was remember I've been down on Jeff like more than like I was. No, not right away. Jeff, not right away. I have I don't know if I'm getting ahead of myself. I think Nocturne is just a better card right now. So I like that would be my and in both of those I don't even know if I would get those like well Nocturne probably, but I would more impactful cards is probably important early on. It just depends where you're at in your collection.
Okay, interesting. Nocturne running a 12% meta share right now versus Jeff's 30. So the people have voted against Cozy, but I do understand that. I totally see Nocturne is making a lot of different decks, very versatile. So I guess of these three, Cozy, right? Would you take Loki over Nocturne?
Loki. Ooh, so it's Jeff, Nocturne, and Loki. It was gonna be really easy for me to pick Loki over Jeff. Oh man. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going Loki. For most collections, I think Loki is the card to get. That would be my draft.
Okay, what
pick.
about Loki versus Red Hulk? Who do you take if you have 6,000 tokens?
Ooh, that's a fun one. Probably Red Hulk for the average player. I think Red Hulk is the average player's dream card to build around.
It's just so plug and playable at 13% of the meta. You can honestly add it to pretty much anything. So wow, Cozy, known Loki enjoyer, believer in Loki before anyone else did. I remember that Snapchat when you said, like, I don't care if this card sucks, I'm playing it. It's one of my favorite cards ever. And here we are, Red Hulk over Loki. So Cozy, then I ask, would you take Mockingbird over Red Hulk?
Oh, no. And again, if we're talking about the same subset of players, like the Andes out there, I think Red Hulk, big power goes boom, I think is important. Like, it's just like it teaches you, it gives you that win condition into your deck. Mockingbird is like the Snap veteran's dream because they know how to abuse and use that card to its max potential, when to hold it, when to go out more. You got the Mysterio stuff, which is hard to understand in base concepts. The Andy, I would say Red Hulk. If you've been playing Snap for a while, and this, I would go Mockingbird. Yeah, I would go Mockingbird over Hulk.
Okay. Cozy getting stressed out here as I'm quizzing
Yeah, these
him.
are good.
Cozy,
These are tough.
yeah, here's some problem solving for you. You have 12,000 tokens.
Okay.
Pick two of these three: Annihilus, Hope Summers, and White Widow.
The first two.
Annihilus, Hope Summers, White Widow. You can pick two of the three.
And assuming they have like Centurion Hood.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely first two. Right there. Mockingbird and Nihilus, done. No, sorry. Hope Summers and Nihilus, done.
You're just making stuff up now. I'm like, I picked two of the three. You're like, I'm picking a fourth, damn
yeah.
you.
Agent Coulson. No, for sure those two right now. That's just two instant great combo cards. Plug and play. Great.
Now, what are your thoughts generally on Hope Summers? Because that's a card I'm getting a lot of questions about.
Yeah, so Hope Summers is, again, a card I actually don't play that much. If you look at my account and like my play rate, like I don't play it much, and it's not because I don't think she's great. I'm always doing wacky crap. But just like the purest value ramp you can get right now in Snap, fits into most decks. You already have the Angela package and a lot of the stuff you're trying to play. Wide amount of archetypes, wide amount of 5 and 6s. So that's an easy one for me. Hope Summers, then Annihilus. What was the third card?
All right. The third card I can't remember at this point.
Not even
but
important.
you have 6,000 tokens, Cozy, and you have this choice. You have White Widow versus Nico Monteru for the average player.
For the Andy? Back to the Andy?
For the Andes.
Oh,
For the
that's
Andes
so
out there.
tough because my advice has always been go Nico first. Like for most people, like Nico's such a transformative card. But again, if I'm like sticking to like my Red Hulk theory and just kind of like play card equal good kind of thing, I would probably go with White Widow here. Nico can be complex, hard to make decisions with. And so it's like the same Mockingbird Red Hulk debate. I would say I'd probably lean towards the easier option.
Absolutely. The one thing with White Widow for me is that I feel like there's nerf risk there. I feel like she is potentially on the cusp there of seeing a change, whether it be power somewhere. I wonder about her remaining as she is because White Widow, only 15% of the meta, but the thing that stands out is the amount of locations that are immensely impactful with her. The Bar Sinisters, the Death Domains, those ones, she's so good in them. Luke's Bar, like there's so many that she just absolutely slaps with.
Do your opinions line up with mine a lot so far? Is there any that would have been different? I'm just curious. Okay.
I think that I think you're a little lower on Hope Summers than I would have expected.
Oh,
like you still agree that it's good.
Wait, that was the number one card? Yeah, but yeah, you do like...
You didn't talk highly. You were like, hey, this is a good card, but I don't play it.
Card. It's an S tier card. Yeah, I should have been doing jumping
so
jacks.
far we've been spot on. Like I think that we've been spot on, which is cool. Like what I'm doing to you right now is super hard. Like for people to know, he is unprepared. He's not ready for this. I'm hitting him with these lefts and rights and stuff.
I like it.
No, dude, you're doing an awesome job.
I like it. I'm practicing for draft mode right now. Because dude, this is why I love draft mode, to be in the environment where you have Hope Summers come up with Nocturne and Jeff, and you're just sitting there like, what do I do? Right? Like, and it's funny because if Hope Summers comes at the beginning of the draft mode, she's the number one pick there, no question. But if it's turn 11 and you have your deck built out, you can't really go Hope because you probably didn't build the curve that way. So like that is where I think draft mode is special in how you pick cards that you want to play. But yeah, hit me with another.
Okay, Cozy, you're relatively new to the game. You're just trying to get through pool 3. High Evo comes up. for 6,000 tokens. Do you pull the trigger?
Ooh. And you're relatively new to the game?
Relatively new to the game. You pretty much don't have any of these other cards we're talking about.
Yeah, for a
High
couple,
Evo 6K.
yeah, a couple of reasons. First, I think it's a good deck to learn the game well. I think like between like Sunspot, Nebula, whatever. I probably don't have those Nebula, but we've talked about all the time. You have most of the cards that come in High Evo, so that's awesome. They just mentioned he's going to be in line for a buff later down the line. Music to our ears, right? Like not only did the card get a buff, but he's in line for another one. You could probably safely feel good about that. Yeah, and it gives you a full deck, so no question. I would say yes.
Okay, Cozy, rank these 3. Iron Lad, Ravonna, Renslayer, and Nocturne.
Ravona's number 1, no question. Nocturne 2, Lad 3, and that's crazy because I love Lad. But I think in that order, that's what I would go with. Purchasing, though, I would probably go Ravonna, Lad, then Nocturne.
Because of the fact that Ravonna is a Series 3 card. So you're getting, it's a 50% off deal with Ravonna, who's absolutely very meta relevant right now. 18% play rate.
Yeah, just best of those options. Since Zabu went down, we're in a Ravonna meta, period. End of discussion. Great card.
Awesome. Now, here's an interesting one. Pick 2 of these 3, Cozy. You have Sage at 8% of the meta, Sasquatch at 5, and Living Tribunal at 5.
Ooh, great 3
2 of the
picks.
3.
That's a good one. Oh, 2 of the 3. Okay.
Sage, Tribunal, and Sasquatch.
That's a tough one. It is. I like Tribunal because it's a cool deck design that you don't need much. If you get Ravonna, get Tribunal. Like, that would be my thought process. Ravonna's not entirely needed, but definitely helps out that deck. You already have Sarah, Iron Man, Onslaught. So,
yeah,
it's the same High Evo arguments. Like, you kind of have a deck set up for you there. And then it was Sage and Sasquatch. Probably Sasquatch for the average player over Sage. Sage is a tremendous card, but I think for somebody that's averagely playing, they're like, okay, play more card, equal card cheaper. And I think that's very easy for someone to understand and get down and make it into a lot of their deck builds, per se.
All right. And Cozy, we'll get a couple more in here because I think this is super fascinating.
It's fun. It's cool, yeah.
Rank these 3. Blob, Namora, and Phoenix Force in order of which ones you would unlock. So Blob, Namora, and Phoenix Force.
Ooh. Those are all
it's so hard, dude. Like, I'm glad you're
different,
not doing this to me right now.
Yeah, dude, that's probably the toughest one because of the way those decks are played, the way to understand the archetypes. Probably Namora first, which is crazy, but I think Namora first, simplistic, but also great. Makes her own archetype, very interesting card. You could play with what you have right off the rip. So Namora first. And then it's the simple question. Do you want to be a move player or not? Like, it's a simple question. Do you want to learn Phoenix Force and go all in? Have you watched videos on it? Do you know if it's a good card or not? Do you know? Not a good card. A play style that you enjoy with the way that move is about to happen. Probably a safer thing to invest in. Blob is Blob, but there are other cards that do big power and big things. Oh my God. I probably Phoenix Force. I'll be honest.
That's awesome. You know what? I knew you were going to say Namora, and I wanted to give you a little bit of a backup here. Namora is the highest win rate card of this list at 56%. Post infinite, top 50% infinite.
No question.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's only running a 2% play rate.
No way. Yeah, that's one that I think when she comes back around, she'll be a purchase card for sure.
Absolutely. Okay, last one until we move on, and this is going to be a fun one. Cozy, rank these 3 in the order in which you would unlock them. It's a hard one. Loki, Red Hulk, and Blink.
And who's the player?
Me. I don't know.
So Phastos, if it's you before any of those trashy.
Of course, Phastos. Yeah,
Phastos, 100%. Maybe Black Swan.
Yeah, for sure.
Loki's back again. So again, oh man. Oof. Loki, Red Hulk, and what was the third one?
Blink. Order them, Cozy.
I don't know this one. It just depends on who you are. If you want access to cards, you go Loki, Big Power, Red Hulk. Probably Red Hulk, Loki, Blink. I don't know, though, but Blink could just fit into any deck right away, brother. Right away.
For what it's worth, that was my order. That's what I would have done.
Yeah,
so I'm with you there. Like, Blink, I think Blink's incredible.
Yeah,
but it's
so
also,
good.
it's not Loki plug and playable.
No.
And it's not Red Hulk plug and playable. You have to build for Blink.
Loki gives you cards you don't have. That's like such a high threshold for me, and it teaches you opponent's decks. Like, that is invaluable. Red Hulk is Red Hulk, and Blink is so good. It's like talking about, I don't want to say Tom Brady, but let's say like back in the day it was like Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, and like Aaron Rodgers. And you're like, they're all good. Peyton Manning's the third isn't horrible in that situation. It's just the worst of the three. Yeah.
That's fair. And I said that was going to be the last one, but I do have one more quick one because these ones are the archetype defining ones. How would you rank Thanos, High Evo, and Tribunal? How would you rank those three?
High Evo, Thanos, Tribunal.
Really? Wow. Thanos, I would go Thanos, Tribunal, and High Evo.
Listen, I respect that you think everyone should have Thanos in the role of like he's Thanos, and I totally get that, but like there's no way I can recommend playability. It's just there's just no way. I think that you'll get much more out of the High Evo playing this like because here's the thing about High Evo, it builds the deck for you, right? So like if you're watching like a Gambit machine gun deck and you have to like understand the way it works and the right play order and what to hide and not reveal. High Evo is the most one-dimensional, like, this is what you do, this is how you play the deck, and you're going to be probably good to go. I think that's just easy. And Thanos is probably harder than ever to really, like, min-max the card.
That's true, but I'm just thinking from a perspective of, like, if you're a Marvel Snap player, there's never been a regrettable time to own. Like, if you buy Thanos, you're never like, oh, damn, I can't believe I spent $6,000 on this piece of trash. There's never that moment. It always comes back, man.
But High Evo, I would probably argue the same, right? I mean, like, there's almost never been a bad time outside of, like, launch week of Red Hulk.
Yeah, okay. That's fair. I mean, Red Hulk does take a nice chunk out of High Evo. That was a really fun segment, guys. Let us know in the comments what you thought about that. Cozy, you're off the hot seat. You can breathe again.
Hey, see how I played along that? So we have tried to do stuff like this with Alex. Like, hey, locations hot or not? Alex, like, I hate them all. Like this. No, this was fun. I enjoyed that a ton. I'm gonna have to like hit you back with it and on the fly come up with stuff to send you. But either way, yeah, good time, man. Good time. Excited for our mail time.
It is the mailbag segment of the Snapchat, and I can't wait to dive right into it here. With I don't know, man. I don't know how to say this name. It's like Pizza Shroomy. I think I said that wrong. If you could play only one video game for the rest of your life, which game would you choose? And it can't be an MMO or anything that requires an internet connection. So, Cozy, I'm going to give you a second to think because that is a tough one. I'm hitting you with so many curveballs today.
Yeah, this one's harder than all those.
Yeah, Cozy, can I just take a moment on this Marvel Snapchat podcast about Marvel Snap to discuss Stardew Valley, to say that if this was like the only game I could ever play ever again, and I'm by myself on a deserted island, it doesn't say that. It says I'm just the rest of my life. I'm not by myself. But if I was, Stardew Valley, I think would check all the boxes I need. It has a fishing game. It has social interactions. I can get married in it. I can go into a mine and dig and dig and dig. I can just have fun. I can find out people's birthdays and give them presents on their birthdays. It would have to be Stardew Valley for me.
That's a good pick. I think that was a good pick. I like that this guy said no to MMOs. Because I'd be like RuneScape probably or something. But no, I would. That is tough because even if it's your favorite game, it's gonna get stale eventually, right? So for me, I feel like probably something in the lines of like Skyrim, maybe Morrowind, even way back. But like probably it's such a traditional answer. Maybe Breath of the Wild. Both those, I just feel like there's so much endless playthrough and possibilities and different builds and different ways to play. So probably that, even though Skyrim is not on my top, like, it's a great game and it's definitely one that's done a lot for me. But I would say it's not on like my top 5 list or anything.
Yeah, what about like a Civilization?
Yeah, I could do, but that's online. Well, like just like offline.
Yeah, offline Civilization. Wait,
Yeah.
You play online? Who the hell's playing Hot Seat Civilization right now?
For whatever reason, my mind farted. I was like Ages of Empires is like the yeah. But no, Civilization. No, that wouldn't be the game I picked. But I like the argument for it. I think that's like a good game to go with.
Okay, that's cool. I like that. I mean, I love talking about other games and stuff on the Snapchat. We'll have to try to make time for that every once in a while because we are gamers at heart. It's funny you bring up Zelda. I played what was the second one? The new. It's not the Breath of the Wild. The other one. Tears of the Kingdom. Is it?
Tears of the Kingdom. Wait, dude. Wait. If I have friends, I'm going Super Smash. Sorry. So if I have friends with me, I'm going Super Smash. Local. But yeah, go ahead.
This might be a hot take, but with Tears of the Kingdom, it came out. People were all hyped up for it. I gave Nintendo my $90 Canadian or whatever it was. I played like 30 minutes of it. I'm like, why am I building a wagon? Like, what is this? And I never played it again. I played like 25 minutes of it.
Did you like hate Minecraft?
I've never played Minecraft before. I played maybe a couple minutes of it. I punched a pig right in the face, and then I called it a day.
I played it in beta, which is crazy. I played it like eons ago, and then it just like blew up. It was like my kind of like late night Man, when that lo-fi hits you right, if you guys know who, if you're out there, you're just building, you're on the quest, you're just mining for some diamonds, doing your own thing. It's peaceful. It was great. It was a good era.
All I want to know about Minecraft, like, where are these RTX mods that were supposed to make everything look cool?
Dude, right? What that was announced forever ago, I feel like, too.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of them. I would play that.
Modded games.
Punch a villager right in the face.
Modded games have become awesome. Like, I played a 4K Breath of the Wild through the Nintendo. Don't ask questions. It wasn't through Nintendo, but it was like a whole different experience, right? Or modded Skyrim. I don't even get me started. Is absolutely insane.
Oh, there's like whole communities around modding Skyrim to the point it makes PCs cry, texture packs, all this stuff. People doing like 600 gigabyte installs of Skyrim and stuff.
Yeah, dude, I know. Like when Starfield came out, people were just like, I'm just waiting for them to mod it. It'll just be a better game. And I'm just excited for the next Fallout, man. I think they're going to nail that. But that's, I'll be, 70 before we see that. But good question. Good question.
Yeah, absolutely. As we move on to our next question, it's from Sloth Guru 81, and it reads, I was watching my favorite Snap streamer earlier, and the community was calling for a Kang nerf. How would you guys go about making Kang worse? Because you don't want to respond.
Just 6 cost card. Just up its cost by 1. Up its cost by 1. You can use them on the last turn of the game, and that is it. And that's a hard challenge, though.
Man, I think the easiest answer is just make it so he never actually replaces himself. He never actually draws a card after you play him.
Okay, all right. That's just literally a dead card. I like it. Hey, pick 3 or pick one of the 3 you have to have in every deck moving forward. Kang, Angel, Quicksilver.
Kang all day long. I just Kang snap people, just play it down just to get people's reactions.
Good to know.
Just to get the Iceman reactions every time I play Kang. It's worth it 100%.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't think it's so funny. So this kind of reminds me of a situation. Like I've been getting a lot of questions about like what do I replace this card with? Like how do I replace Stina and stuff? And I've been replying with Kang to almost all of them. And people always respond seriously, question mark? Like, I'm like, I've been responding to these questions, like jokingly, just replace it with Kang. Just use Kang on Twitter too. Well, what's Athena replacement? Kang. It's so funny, man. So I'm so happy that this conversation came up.
Like it.
But, talk about callbacks from Malvin U. The Quake in the steampunk variant that we were discussing in that last episode there. Quake is wearing special gloves because when she uses her powers, it literally breaks the bones in her hands and forearms. Those are special gloves created for her by S.H.I.E.L.D. to help with the issue. Cozy, could I ask you to bring up the gloves of the Quake variant that was in question so the viewers can see? Because apparently it was a interesting point of discussion on the last Snapchat.
If I was a superhero, bro, I would have such a hard time not being jealous of everybody else. Like I'm gifted, right? I get this awesome gift of an ability. But then I'm like looking over at freaking Thor, who's just like, fighting in space, a god. And I'm like, I suck. I could break my hands if I do something like this. It'd be hard not to have an identity crisis.
Actually, it's funny. We literally brought up the Black Widow movie, right? Like on your side. And in that movie, there was a moment where the 2 sisters were talking, White Widow and Black Widow. And she said like, oh, well, Thor doesn't have to take aspirin after a fight. Yeah. And I remember that kind of resonated with me. I'm like, that's right. Black Widow is just like a super well-trained human being. That's what makes like Hawkeye so cool to me. Like I could be Hawkeye. You know what I mean?
There's definitely something to be said. And I think that's the appeal to like, the street heroes as they call them, right? Like why Spider-Man is so beloved. Like now Spider-Man has leaned, he's kind of more into the other field or whatever, because he's got the more superpowers, but he's doing like everyday crime or like, the whole Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, like that whole era, it's like just peeps doing low-key crime, like Kingpin versus Thor is not exactly a fair fight.
That's fair. And you literally are Star-Lord. So, I mean, that makes perfect sense. Oh, that brings up a good question. Cozy, do you think Mother Teresa is a superhero?
Yeah, like a 4'5", but Gandhi's like a 5'10".
Gandhi's 5'10"?
Yeah. Gandhi.
Okay, that makes sense.
See your opponent's deck.
Gandhi looks like Phastos, so that makes sense.
You can see your opponent's deck too. Oh yeah, so he's a 5-star card.
5-star card for sure. That takes us to our last question of the day from Stuart Watson. What is your take on emoting? What's your take on emoting? It seems to get so many people angry. People usually take the worst possible interpretation of emotes. Do you subscribe to the theory that Miss Marvel never means thumbs up and is always used as a proxy for another finger? Any conceivable way to improve in-game communication?
I don't know. Yeah, just for me personally, it's not that deep. For me, like everybody's different. I'm just playing a card game and having fun and pressing my superhero buttons with the the Airshum and the like. This shit. I'm just having a good time. I'm just pressing. I love. When I make a bad play, I do the Iceman. Or if they retreat, I'll do the Iceman. I'm like, hey, but I'm not trying to be toxic, right? Or whatever. And I've leaned towards because I'm always getting the Spider-Man point when I'm playing people. Like I'm not. I feel like I don't emote as much just because I don't want to something can be misconstrued. Like, have you ever got a text and someone's tone is not what you think it is? It's much lighter. I feel like, I don't know, people assume the worst, and I can get why people get triggered. But for me, dude, I'm just playing a game, man. I'm having a good time.
My favorite emote that I use all the time to set the mood is the Red Guardian one. Always. It can go at even turn 1, just Red Guardian. And they're like, okay, this guy's human.
Yeah,
He's just sweating a little bit. I like it a lot. I always use the Groot one, the Groot button one. I bought it with you. We were together when I bought it, right?
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta buy this, right? That's $50 on the emo. What an
My
absolute
number
asshole.
one used one by far is the Ultron with the math. Because I do it on my opponent and me. If I do a play and it looks like a misplay, I'm like, or I see him setting up a combo. I love doing the equations with the, that is my most used. Because I feel too, that's it's not toxic, right?
But it's so funny because when I've played a couple Lorcana local events, just playing casually, whatever. And it's so funny. Every single game, everyone's so nice, right? Everyone every game, shake hands, fist bumps, let's go. That was an awesome game. Congratulations on your victory. Good luck moving on. Everyone is so damn nice. Marvel Snap. It's no, anybody that thinks that Miss Marvel is not the middle finger is huff and hopium. That is an absolute middle. Actually, this is Miss Marvel. This is the middle finger. This is not even Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel is literally this. It's the triple middle finger.
That's the first time I've
that's
seen
what
it.
Miss Marvel is.
That's your That's a superhero ability you just did there. What the heck?
Wait, you never done a triple middle finger?
No.
The triple FU?
No, I haven't. I've only, no, definitely not. 3? Can you do 5?
5. Listen, how many hands do you think I have? So it's a
I
magic
was blown
trick.
away
It's
by
an
the 3.
illusionist. It's sleight of hand that I can even do the 3.
I was blown away.
No, I'm glad. And I'm blown away with this conversation today. So thank you guys so much for joining us today on the Snapchat. We have so much fun with you guys. We really appreciate you guys taking the time to leave a review on your podcast platform of choice. It makes a huge difference for Cozy and I. We love you guys, and we'll see you on that next Snapchat episode.